everybody, this is Diane. Welcome to Biters.
And this is Marnell.
Soup is the
Welcome
blanket
to
of food.
What's that?
Soup is the blanket of food.
Oh, no, not fish soup. That's like I don't know, the wool sheet of food. It's all scratchy and
But le
doesn't warm you
français
up.
call it bouillabaisse.
Bouillabaisse. That's just a fancy way of saying it needs a lot more spices. Tastes a little fishy.
I talked over you. I'm sorry. What were you going to say before I talked about bouillabaisse and the blanket of soup or the blanket of food?
This was our lovey-dovey episode, but not because of John and Laura.
Oh, I don't know. Speak for yourself.
We will.
Seriously,
We will
speak
talk
for
about
yourself.
Dianne and mine's new love.
So, this is season 4, episode 5 of Fear the
Laura.
Walking Dead, and the episode was called Laura. And so tell me, how did your black, cold, dead heart rate this episode?
Meh.
You gotta give meh a number.
Okay, initially it was very like, and my other half was like, oh, good luck with the rewatch on that one. But we're podcasting late. It's been mulling over in my brain, and I'm actually very, very happy to get this whole backstory on both of them. I think we learned a lot about the two characters, whom I'm hoping will be season regulars from here on till, at least very, very near end of the series.
Because we're totally shipping, and we're totally saying that Laura is not dead.
Yes. I don't believe that Laura is dead.
I mean, I guess we don't really have to ship them if they're already in a relationship.
Right? But she ran away.
She did.
But yeah, so I gave it a 3.8 big mouth Billy Basses.
That is all. I am heartbroken.
And it came up from a 3.7 over the week. I know. You know me. I'm dead inside. I just don't enjoy the romance.
You are dead inside. Jeez. I am a sucker. I gave it a 4.65 out of 5 movie sign-out sheets. And I've got to tell you that I was thinking about my rating, and then I was looking at Thomas O'Mara's rating, and his was also 4.65 out of 5, but his was Choco Caramel Brittle.
And that was almost my rating, but I was like, nope, I am not, I saw that and I'm not stealing it. So the other thing that caught my attention in that episode was the big mouth Billy Bass alarm clock. Which is funny,
quite funny.
Because I remember seeing advertisements on those in the 80s where you could send a check or a money order in to get one.
That's so
I know.
Funny.
And this is actually the second show that I have watched that has employed a big mouth Billy Bass character on their show.
No way.
The other one is Magicians.
Oh, that is really funny.
There's a guy that astral projected out of his body before his body died, and then his body got burned, and so now he's not dead, but he can't astral project back into his own body, and nobody can see him, and the only way that they know that he's in the room is that he makes this big mouth Billy Bass thing talk or flip around, so I'm just like, oh my God, what is it? Like, did somebody find a huge box of these in a prop department somewhere and just start handing them out to shows?
Totally. They're gonna make the market flood with them again. I bet you if you go on eBay right now, you could probably find a whole bunch of them.
No thanks.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I loved this episode, and I'm loving Garrett Dillahunt, and I would not have a big mouth Billy Bass in my home. Well, so I have numbers because we're podcasting late again, and I want to apologize to everybody. I scheduled myself just really tight with work this week, so that's why we're late.
But I'm just lazy.
Well, so this was #1 on Sunday night.
Woo!
Yeah, and it had 2.464 million views same day. So I'll have the live +3 the next time we podcast.
Dang.
But it even beat out the romance on the Lifetime channel about Harry and Meghan.
They're so cute. They're a great couple. Totally not interested in royal weddings.
I would be much more interested in a Naomi/Laura John wedding.
Yeah. Yep.
So don't have anything creative to say about the title.
Yeah, it was pretty much just Laura.
It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah.
So our writer was a writer named Anna Fishko, and this is actually her first episode in the Fear of the Walking Dead in the Walking Dead universe period. And she worked on the first 4 episodes of this season as a producer.
Yes, she did.
And then I just wrote down some of the things that she was involved with as a writer. They're not things I'm familiar with, but maybe people out in our audience know them. The Last Tycoon, Colony, The Messengers. You familiar with any of those?
I have watched like the first season and a half of Colony, which I really did like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's one of the things that it got pushed down to the bottom of the list as new things came out. And Tyrant was one of those that I really wanted to start watching, but it never happened. And it's still up there on the list. I really just need a deserted island and an internet connection.
Well, I promised my friend Todd I would start watching Westworld, so that's going to be my next binge, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Ian McShane was in Deadwood, so I have to watch Deadwood. And Garrett Dillahunt was in Deadwood. And he's in Westworld, right?
Garrett Dillahunt is not.
He's not in Westworld?
No.
But we know that Stephen Ogg is.
Stephen Ogg is. And
yes.
He does full nudity.
Which I should be totally on it right now.
You're into that sort of thing.
So our director was Michael Satrazemis, who has directed multiple episodes of Walking Dead. And the ones that I really loved that Michael Satrazemis directed were How It's Gotta Be, Slabtown, and The Grove. And I really felt like this episode had that really spare, poignant style that The Grove had.
Yeah.
I could really see similarities. And I actually really feel like Naomi, where we saw her in this episode, is really similar to earlier Carol.
Yeah. Yeah. I can definitely see that parallel there.
So I totally loved this episode because it really did remind me of the feel of The Grove, and The Grove is still one of my favorite episodes from the main series. So, and on that, I guess onward to featured cast.
Well, I have a little bit of Whispers Corner.
Oh, good.
It's been messaged at us a couple of times.
Yeah. Okay.
So apparently Cohen Watch 2018 is not over yet because the show that she is in with Nathan Fillion, the rookie, has got picked up for a second season. So that it remains to be seen.
Wait a minute. I didn't know she was in that series.
Is it the rookie? Or
no. No, Whiskey Cavalier is the
Whiskey Cavalier.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Whiskey Cavalier.
And it's brand new. It's not picked up for a second season. It's a brand new series.
Right, but they've already greenlit a second season.
Oh, they have.
They have.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't know if she's just going to be super busy and working around both sets in her time, or if her TWD's days are numbered.
So, if you read the comic book, and this is totally spoilery, Maggie has so much more arc to do.
So did
So did Carl, I know.
Carl. Yeah.
But I'm really hoping that the Prime series doesn't mess this up and lose her.
I don't know if Fear the Walking Dead taught us anything, like, and Walking Dead, I guess, no one's safe.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and they conceivably could give Maggie's arc to somebody else, but man.
Yep.
I mean, how much can you rework it? How many arcs can you give away to a different character and slightly mutate them and still have it be something that's not going to totally tick all the fans off?
Well, look at Andrea. Andrea's supposed to still be alive and Rick's girlfriend.
Right.
So.
Well, and when you listen to Laurie Holden talk, she's pretty bitter about that.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I do have to tell you, there's a little show called Drop the Mic. It's kind of a insult rap battle between celebrities. And, who was on it? It was Chandler Riggs against Tyrese.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah. So they took a bunch of digs at each other on that, and they were pretty brutal to each other, but it's done totally all, of course, in fun. And, yeah, it was pretty good. If you have a chance to check it out, I'm sure there's a YouTube clip of it. Chandler Riggs on Drop the Mic. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find it and post it.
I think it was it Chad Coleman who played Tyrese? I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
Yeah.
Love that character too.
Yeah.
His death episode is one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, they called him a cut. Chandler Riggs, I think, at one point called him a cut rate T-Dog.
Oh,
I know, it was brutal.
Oh.
Yeah, the other rap battle of the show had one of the kids from Stranger Things and a kid from Glee. So,
I bet that was great too.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I love lip sync battle with LL Cool J and Chrissy Teigen as the hosts, and all kinds of other celebrities come on. And I rarely watch Drop the Mic, but every once in a while, when a show like this comes up, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch it. So yeah, Chandler Riggs was on Drop the Mic.
I have got to watch less news and more TV. I think I would be much healthier.
Right.
I think if I watched Drop the Mic and didn't watch the last word, I would be much healthier. The 11th Hour, just
need to watch
let it go.
Drop the Mic and Deadwood.
I just finally started season 2 of Jessica Jones, and the first episode was really good, and I listened to a really good interview with Kristen Ritter, who is the girl who plays Jessica Jones, on Fresh Air. Which it is spoilery, so if you haven't watched season 2 of Jessica Jones, don't listen to the interview unless you want to be spoiled.
Have you ever seen her in her other TV series role?
But it was super funny listening to her because she sounded so sweet.
Yeah, it's a completely different character for her. Don't trust the bitch in Apartment 23. Yeah, James binged watched it over a couple of weeks and was just like, that was different.
That's funny.
Not me. I've been binge watching Orange is the New Black.
I need to get caught up on that too.
I'm in season 5. They haven't released season 6 yet. It should come in June at some point.
I think I gave up in season 4, so I need to get it together and watch that again. Less news, more TV.
Somebody dies, and I legit did that whole sobbing thing.
Oh my God, I
So,
have to tell you. So this has nothing to do with The Walking Dead. It has nothing to do with TV. I don't know if you saw me repost this or not, but my friend's German Shepherd had to be put down.
oh,
15 years old, trained
yep,
police dog, one of the smartest dogs I have ever met, one of the coolest dogs I've ever met. When I saw my friend's post, I literally bawled.
yep,
I was a wreck. I was sitting
yeah.
in bed reading the post, just crying my eyes out.
So that's where you can get me. I am not entirely dead inside. All of the dogs that have come through my life have left a piece of their heart. So when somebody
Hmm.
loses an animal like that, it strikes me. And when our one of our huskies a number of years ago died, we had written such a heart-wrenching eulogy for her, and we tagged the place who does the crematorium for the animals in town. And the man does this in his spare time because there is no other option in Alaska, especially in the winter, to dispose of your loved pets because the ground is too frozen to bury them. And so when he and his wife, who's a veterinarian, found out that pets were actually going to the landfill rather than having any sort of proper burial,
Which I could totally never do.
he set up a crematorium in town and runs it as his side business. And his real line of work is he's a grief counselor at our hospital. He read the eulogy for our dog that we tagged him in. And he's like, no disrespect, you guys, but I will never read another one of your guys' eulogies you tag me in again. He's like, I had a really hard time reading that.
Oh.
And this guy is a professional grief counselor who deals with people's pet deaths on the side. Like, this is his, like, life's work. This is his cross to bear. And, like, we made him cry. So, yeah, I have a soft spot that has 4 paw prints in it, not 2 human feet.
I have no idea how we got off on this subject.
Well, Joseph Dillahunt is
No, not Joseph Dillahunt. Garrett
he's
Dillahunt.
I'm not sorry, not Joseph. Garrett Dillahunt, John Dory with an IE, not a Y, is a dog lover.
Oh, good. I knew I
In
loved
fact,
this guy.
on his Instagram, he has a picture, a Throwback Thursday picture of him next to his husky, and he said, "I miss this dog so much,"
Oh.
and it looks like my bandit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that kind of gave me the feels a little.
I bet.
I need a stronger dose of medication or something. I've been having far too many feelings lately. But so, Garrett Dillahunt, super, super funny guy, offset, amazingly talented actor, did not want to grow up and be an actor.
Really?
He grew up in Selah, Washington.
That's
You know where
right.
that
I
is?
did see that he was a Washington boy. Yep.
Yeah. So Selah, Washington is basically kind of a suburb of Yakima, Washington, which is where I was born.
Which is sagebrush and rattlesnakes.
It's pretty much orchards.
You weren't born in Yakima. You were born in Ellensburg.
I was born in Yakima. They had to I was
Seriously?
I was a problem baby. They had to take me to Yakima to
You've
get me out.
always been a problem.
Yep, not that I should put this out on the internet anywhere, but my birth certificate says Yakima.
Well, there you go.
Well, there goes one of my
One of your securities.
security answers. Damn it.
Jeez.
Now it's gonna have to be John Dory.
with an IE,
Dory?
not a Y.
Right? Like the fish. So, but yeah, he grew up in southern central Washington, which we have a lot of family back there.
And I saw that he studied journalism at UW.
He did. One of the
Which, for those of you who are not West Coasters, that's the University of Washington.
Yes. And he had no idea what he wanted to do when he graduated high school. He decided he had been on the school paper and he had worked for the Sela newspaper. I forget the name of the paper, but he had worked for them doing basically their photojournalism. And so he's like, no, I'll do that. And so he got into journalism. And one of the last classes he had to take for school was like a drama course, because he was, he's getting a master's in journalism. And he had to take a drama course, and that's where he kind of fell in love with the stage.
Oh, that is really cool.
He was kind of a naturally shy guy. He preferred to be behind the camera, but once he started doing live action plays, he couldn't get enough, and he moved cross country to do off Broadway and eventually on Broadway. He's got some really cool images on his Instagram of his Broadway days.
So, swear to God, you have gotten me more active on Instagram than anybody, because you keep talking about all these cool Instagram pages. Instagram accounts, I guess I should say.
Okay, so, like, I love me some Twitter for some news and some funny little quippy one-liners, but Instagram is, like, it's basically just told through pictures, and I absolutely love just being able to, you know, like, post up a picture and have one little funny blurb about it. And, you know, very, very few people comment on them. You just get a whole bunch of likes.
Which, by the way, speaking of trolling people on Twitter, I'm going to go off topic again. The person who said that John McCain's opinion doesn't matter because he's dying anyway, I trolled her. And I wrote back, welcome to life in a human body. We're all dying anyway.
Yeah, every day.
Regardless of your politics, I think that was just a really, really rotten thing for that human being to say.
And like Madison would say, you're not gone until you're gone. So
right?
He can still mess up some lives. Who knows where the bodies are buried.
But sorry, back to Instagram. So I'm actually going to go follow Garrett Dillahunt right now, and it's all your fault.
Definitely on Instagram. So his Twitter is more like last weekend he live tweeted the show. So he was very prolific tweeting. But most of his stuff is liking and retweeting other people's their stuff. So he doesn't have a whole lot to say that's not Walking Dead related. But his Instagram is just goofy as all get out. It is so much fun. When he acts with a group of actors, like when he was on the Mindy Project, those people become his family. And, but his Broadway, he worked with, George C. Scott on Inherit the Wind.
Oh, how cool.
And he worked with Callista Flockhart in Mad Forest off Broadway. It's a Churchill play. And like he's got a lot of acting chops, you know, prior to his screen work. And so he was super, super interesting in that respect. And there's some really cool pictures of him on his Instagram with, you know, basically in the middle of the screen, he I forget who he played. It kind of looked like it was a Romanesque. He had just cut his sister's heart out type thing on the play stage.
Cool.
It's really, really cool.
He's got a really awesome picture of him putting a bandage on Morgan's leg in the back of the back of the SWAT truck.
Yes, he's got a lot of really cool behind the scenes of his shows too. One thing I did learn from his Instagram, he has worked with Kim Dickens before.
Oh my God, but I have to stop you for just a minute because thanks to you, I'm watching Jeffrey Dean Morgan walk a donkey on Instagram. How cute is that? And there's a little tiny baby donkey bouncing along with them. I am in love with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. All right, sorry. Back to Garrett, who I'm also in love with.
And speaking of which, supposedly Garrett Dillahunt was supposed to be the Negan.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, so I guess I watched a little snippet on YouTube today, just kind of prepping for this, and I guess that when Jeffrey Dean Morgan heard that he got this role, Jeffrey Dean Morgan called him up and said, well, get ready, your life's about to change.
Oh, that's funny. So, he decided not to take the role of Negan because he was going to be doing The Hand of God, which,
Oh, which I've watched a little bit of that, and it's really good. I really like Ron Perlman. Another series that I just really need to catch up on.
yes, I am into season 2, but I didn't finish it. It only lasted 2 seasons, but
Oh, that's a bummer.
yeah, yeah, but and again, his cast is like family on the show. He stays really really close to all of the people that he works with. But he has this great snap of Kim Dickinson, and she's
Kim
dressed
Dickens.
Kim Dickens, and she's dressed in, I don't know, she doesn't look like a harlot back in the day. But it's a very, very fancy dress, and she's laying on a bed very seductively. But they acted together in Deadwood.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Deadwood has now shot to the top of the list of shows that I need to watch. It's always been on there,
Well,
but
Mr. Wednesday, Ian McShane from American Gods.
oh my goodness.
Yes.
So, so here's the thing about Garrett Dillahunt. He is one of those guys where I have been a fan of his for a very, very long
And you
time,
just didn't know it.
and I didn't know it. So, he was in movies like No Country for Old Men, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. He was in 12 Years a Slave. He was in The Last House on the Left, the 2009 version, of course. One episode of Criminal Minds. Winter's Bone with Jennifer Lawrence.
Which I have not seen.
I think she got an Oscar or something. In Looper with I can't remember the guys' names. Sorry. Looper with uh Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
So he's got some chops.
He's definitely got some chops. God, what else? He's kind of a serial monogamist when it comes to his roles on shows. A lot of people knew him from he was a series regular on ER.
Mm-hmm.
The 4400, and of course Deadwood, The Book of Daniel, John from Cincinnati, Damages, Terminator of Sarah, the Terminator, the Sarah Chronicle, the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
And someone else we talked about had been on that, and I can't remember now offhand who it was.
Yeah.
I think it was the guy who plays Alden.
Maybe. So he was in The Road. Do you remember The Road?
Mm-hmm. I read the book. I didn't watch the movie.
Oh, you didn't miss much. Like, the movie was horrendously boring.
Well, the book was horrendously depressing.
Okay, maybe that was it. But he played one of the bad guys.
Oh.
Yeah, and what's funny is he also played a bad guy in The Last House on the Left. Not that there's a whole lot of good guys in that movie.
I've never seen it.
It's a kind of a, I guess you'd call it a scare horror genre. Yeah, it's not a terrible movie. It's a terrible storyline.
Tell me how you really feel about it.
A lot of really bad and scary things happen to good people who don't deserve it, and there's lots of guts and gore, and yeah.
Oh, I do want to say one thing about Dillahunt. So he got his start on TV in the soap opera One Life to Live. Did you see that?
I did.
Yes.
I did. I was not a One Life to Liver. I was a Days of Our Liveser.
As we both were.
Yeah, me unwillingly so.
Well, it was bred in the bone.
Yeah. So it was my siblings torturing me with their hour of the TV.
No, it was your mother who got us all involved in it, so don't blame us.
Then again, I got to torture everyone with the Disney version of Robin Hood and The Princess Bride on a loop.
And every single like Land Before Time movie that was ever made.
Oh, Secret and Nim, all of it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So he's recently the most popular for the Mindy Project, which is not one that I was ever really interested in watching, but now I kind of am, like looking at his Instagram of all the goofy stuff that they do on it. There's this hilarious picture of he and Martha Plimpton, and it looks like they're having a full turkey dinner with pancakes. But they are in full, like, crocheted Afghan outfits, like jammies, and they've even got hats. It's just, something your grandma would have knitted you, and it's an outfit. It's a whole outfit.
Hey now.
Pretty funny.
Careful, you're going to get one of those for Christmas.
Oh, I will send you this picture. It's pretty awesome. And then he has this cute little picture on Instagram of him, and he must be about 5 years old, and he is dressed as a little sheriff. And the caption is, apparently I've been researching hashtag John Dory for quite a while.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
It's the most adorable picture. I love his Instagram. He's super, super funny on it. There's a picture that he took at the Denver Art Museum, and it's like this, like, court jestery kind of guy and a woman and probably her husband. And he says, at the Denver Art Museum has some amazing and prescient, stuff. Like John Dowman's early 1800 portrait of Tilda Swinton, Anna Kendrick, and Nathan Fillion. Weird group, though. And it's just, you look at the picture and you're like, oh my God, that definitely could be them.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So he's just super, super fun guy on social media. Instagram more so than Facebook. But so he grew up near pretty much where I was born in Yakima, Washington. He did have two brothers. One of them was hit by a drunk driver in the early 80s in Yakima and died.
That is so sad.
He grew up a total bookworm, still is to this day. He was very shy in high school, which is why journalism behind the scenes appealed to him. He liked to be able to take the pictures. His dad was a trucker who hauled fruit, which
that's totally apropos for that area of Washington. Yeah.
And his mom worked in a ceramics store and a receptionist at a chiropractor's office.
Oh my gosh, what humble origins. Good for him.
Yes. And there was a lot of times in his education, because he furthered his education at the New York University Graduate Acting Program. And he didn't even have the money to file the paperwork to go to school there. And so he wound up becoming a janitor. And he actually, like, sneakily lived on campus. Like, he would just shower in the big sink in the shower in the janitor's closet. And he had a key to every room. And he's like, they probably still are paying off some of my long distance bills.
Oh, bless his heart.
But he got to go to school because he was the janitor. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's one of those guys that he immerses himself into whatever he is doing. He loves whatever he's doing 100%. Like, I mean, the cast members become his family. And I think for me, because I have seen him so much, I mean, I just watched him in the show The Gifted, and it's not like I was watching Garrett Dillahunt as this character. You know, like I see Jenna Elfman and it's Jenna Elfman, you know, but I see Garrett Dillahunt and I'm not thinking Garrett Dillahunt. I'm thinking John Dory, you know?
I love him as this character. And I'm going to be honest and say I'm not super familiar with him from his other roles. Like, I'm sure that I would be like, oh, that's Garrett Dillahunt.
Yes.
But
you would still not go the entire show going Garrett Dillahunt doing John Dory, you know?
Right.
Like, you know, there are just certain actors who have kind of lost their anonymity to become a character. He really liked working with Brad Pitt on the Jesse James movie. But there's one of them that you go to watch a movie and you're like, oh, Brad Pitt, you know, doing this character. I don't think I could ever watch Garrett Dillahunt and be like, oh, Garrett Dillahunt doing. No, he is that character. Garrett Dillahunt becomes invisible and he is just the character.
Which, by the way, I'm sorry, I just have to say it out loud. Those eyes.
You love his eyes.
I love his eyes.
You know, his manner off of Fear the Walking Dead, when I see him in interviews and stuff, I really love his manner. It's funny to think that he grew up in the Northwest because he does have a very Southern charmy quality about him.
I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love the guy. He is in a movie that I need to see because my boyfriend is in it. And my boyfriend, I mean,
you can't remember your boyfriend's name?
I can't remember my boyfriend's name. I keep wanting to call him Aquaman because I can't wait till that comes out.
Oh, Jason Momoa.
Yes, he's in a movie right now with Jason Momoa. I think it's actually on video on demand right now, called Braven. And Garrett Dillahunt plays a bad guy. He seems to kind of gravitate towards bad guys a lot.
Well, he's an all good guy in this one. Even his bad act was not a bad thing.
Yeah, and in Hand of God, he was a convict who was trying to change his ways, but he was doing a bad thing, but he thought it was for God, and so kind of a conflicted good guy, bad guy. So yeah, he's got a couple of other interesting movies coming up with some big names. So The Long Home is in post-production.
I was going to say, I saw that he had several things in post.
Yeah, so a young contractor is hired to build a honky-tonk in Tennessee by the man who killed his father. And this one is starring not only, of course, Garrett Dillahunt, but James Franco, Josh Hartnett, Ashton Kutcher, Josh Hutcherson, and Courtney Love.
Oh, wow. What an interesting cast.
Yeah. Yeah. The other one is Widows, set in contemporary Chicago amidst a time of turmoil for women with nothing for income in common except for their debts that their dead husbands left behind, fade into their own hands and conspire to forge a future of their own terms. So, of course, Garrett Dillahunt's in it, but so is Liam Neeson, John Bernthal, Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell, Michelle Rodriguez, Robert Duvall, and Viola Davis.
Oh, what an interesting cast as well. Good
know.
For him.
He has got some cool stuff coming up.
Well, and it sounds like he's pretty picky about what he chooses. He doesn't choose something unless he can really, really inhabit it.
Right, and it doesn't seem like he chooses the lead role or blockbuster films like Braven. I mean, Jason Momoa is pretty hot right now. He could probably, write his own ticket. And he's another one that's not really interested in blockbusters. He's going to be Aquaman, but, I think that's not a huge thing for him. And so that, I don't even think Braven went to theaters. I think it went straight to video on demand. Yeah, so the other one that's in post-production is called Benched, and it was formerly called rounding third, and of course it's about Little League teams, and it's based on a play. So that is premiering at the Nashville Film Festival this month, and it doesn't have a synopsis on IMDb yet, but if you go to Garrett-Dillahunt.net, you can keep up with all of his current projects. That's right, he has his own website. So, yeah, he's pretty interesting. He's super, super funny. Yeah.
He's pretty awesome.
He is.
I mean, I would have to say, as far as I'm concerned, he is the star of Fear the Walking Dead for me now.
He is. I really think the whole reboot of bringing in the new cast, I think he's going to stick around a while because I think he's quickly becoming a fan favorite.
He is.
I was just watching a talk show on YouTube, the Kevin Pollak Show, which Kevin Pollak, actor, comedian, writer, and he does his episode 138 is with Garrett Dillahunt. So they talk about some pretty funny stuff on there, and it's really just a sit down chit chat. There's no, it's pretty free flowing. So if you're interested, Kevin Pollak Chat Show on YouTube, episode 138.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, your featured cast member leads right into my good.
Oh, really? Because, the show wasn't the John and Laura show.
No, it was the Laura show, but oh my God, who wouldn't want to be saved by John Dory?
I have to say that he does initially come off with a creep factor just because he's like too relaxed.
I don't think he's too relaxed. I think he's kind of simple. I still think he's kind of simple.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it totally is. I'm just jaded about people who are nice to me for no reason. Oh,
hence, you would run away and you would leave the I love you too Scrabble.
After spending that much time, I don't think I would have ran away, but I definitely would have been the one that disappeared in the morning and tried to get the car started. And then when he was all, oh yeah, I should have opened with that, the dead battery, I was like, of course I know he's a good guy, but in my heart I'm screaming, run girl, run! This is a setup. Got a house of horrors in there just waiting for you.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I read too much Anne Rule.
You do read too much Anne Rule, and so do I, but who wouldn't want to be saved by John Dory?
I know, it is one of those things where, he was, at that point, I'm like, what else you got? He brought you in from the outside, you took his bed, he cleaned your wound, he left you candy by the bedside. Yeah. I don't think it would have taken me long to relax and wouldn't run away. So,
well, and like I texted you earlier today, JD is adorable.
Yes.
So what's your good?
My good is, so I really was not looking forward to this episode because I'm not one.
I know you weren't.
But I really, really appreciate the backstory that we got for both of these characters because I want them to be long-running characters. And we haven't had the benefit of 3 prior seasons with them. So we are going to have to see them in flashback, and they are going to have to tell their story. And they both definitely have more to tell of their story. We got just a glimpse of what had gone wrong in their lives, either pre or post apocalyptic. And, I think that's a very good place to build.
Do you think we'll get more? I don't think we'll get more. We might about Laura or Naomi.
You don't think we're going to get more about his whole being adverse to guns
I don't
and
think so. I think that
not wanting to
what they
fight?
gave us is what they're going to give us.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of character development in both of their characters that I'm really happy to have seen, and I look forward to seeing more
I
because like
think
like
they'll take him forward, but I hope they show us how she lost her child.
well, yeah, and this wasn't part of my goods, but how did she get to him if she wasn't the one that drove off, in the river? How did she wind up drifting down the river?
In the canoe.
I thought the kid that was his canoe there
Oh,
before.
no, I thought she
Yeah.
drifted down the river in the canoe. I'm sorry.
No, the canoe was there before. They showed it the day before when he was killing the
She
walkers.
just washed up on it.
She washed up on it and had a big old gash. And
So
her
maybe she
first,
was suicidal, and
her
maybe,
her first words to him were, "I have to get back." Back to where?
yeah, I don't know.
And she had mentioned other camps that she had been in before. And so I really think there's a lot more to her story between having lost her child and where she bounced around after the apocalypse.
And we may get more of that, but I think we're much more likely to get more of that than we are of anything else about John Dory. I think they're just going to move him forward now.
Think so?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I mean, it would be great to have more backstory, but I don't think they need to.
Hmm. But I just like that we got what we got.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should have taken an entire episode, but I wasn't too bored during the episode, so that was my good.
I was actually really okay with it being an entire episode, and I think again it probably goes to Michael Satrazemis directing it and kind of feeling like there were some characteristics of the Grove in it that I really liked.
Right.
It was really isolated the way that the Grove was isolated too.
Definitely. I thought it was interesting on The Talking Dead when they said they were scouting locations and they were looking for a cabin close to the river, and they couldn't find any because just a few years before, 100-year flood had happened and wiped out all the cabins. So they had to take a few days and build up this cabin. So
Oh, that's cool. I didn't watch Talking Dead this time, so because my life is chaos.
Oh. So what was your bad?
So my bad I actually owe to my significant other because he looked at me and he was like, "Why all of a sudden are the walkers attracted to the opening on the bridge?
Oh,
Why
my
all
God.
of a sudden is it a big thing?" And I was like, "I don't know, just watch the show." And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, it was awfully dang convenient for all of a sudden that to become the night that there was this flood of walkers that were attracted to that broken portion on the bridge.
Yes, and they kept going back to it.
Yeah.
Like I had the exact same bad.
And it's like they tried harder once it got blocked with the Jeep.
Yeah, I'm like, is a hole in the fence, even a patched one, like Walker catnip? What is going on?
So that seemed just too convenient by half.
Yeah, that was outside the sphere of probability.
Okay, that is super funny that was your bad also.
Yes. I had two bads, and it was another minor little one where it's when all the walkers start washing up and he and Laura are trying to fight them off. He has this trench that's built that, he has to put a little plank down over to walk across to get to the water. And it's sort of a last line of defense, this trench. It's like a 2, maybe 3 feet trench. Well, he jumps down in it to kill walkers. And I'm like, why are you doing that?
Right. Why would you do that? Just let them pile up because it increases the danger.
Yeah, I'm just like, why would you jump down in there?
Yeah, that
That's
whole
stupid.
scene was really manufactured from the time that the broken bridge suddenly became this big giant hazard where all of a sudden not just one or two walkers at a whack are coming through, but a whole herd is coming through.
Yeah, and they're just landing in his general area. They're
Yep.
not washing further downstream. I don't know if
And they
like they're
manufactured the danger by making them do stupid things like jump in the moat.
yeah, and then when Laura gets covered by those walkers falling into the trench,
How does she not get bitten?
there is no way she would have come out of that bite free. I mean,
Right.
they were down at her ankles, they were at her waist, they were wrapped around her. I'm like, that you would be a goner. Like, I don't care how many trick shots get him in the head. She definitely has some scratches and bites.
Although that was some sweet shooting.
That was some awesome shooting.
I actually watched a little YouTube of him doing some tactical gun training. Did you see that one on YouTube?
I didn't know.
He is a really good shot.
Huh.
He's a really good shot. It's like a minute long clip. It's worth watching.
I can't remember the name of the show that he was in. Something Gulch.
I don't know, but apparently he's been rehearsing to be John Dory for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think made him like always take the guns out and clean them all the time if he's so adverse to them?
I don't know. I mean, I think that those guns were part of his show at the Wild West thing that he was doing. So I think maybe those he had a fondness for because of the memories that they held. It wasn't like it was his service pistol, which I suspect his service pistol was probably what he shot that person with.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Hmm.
Well,
Did he get it?
oh, go ahead.
You got an ugly?
Well, I was just going to ask you what yours was.
Um, did I already say it?
No.
I did kind of already say it. It was a good ugly. I think we will get some more backstory with Laura. How did she wind up in the river with injured? If she's not the one who drove the Jeep off of the bridge, how did she wind up in the river? And when she woke up, she said, "I have to get back." So what was she trying so desperately to get back to?
Well, and I agree with you. I hope that they give us that.
Because, I mean, she is definitely running towards something. I thought she'd be running away from something, but with that makes me think she's running towards something or after something. Because I would have stayed. What made her leave?
Well, so that was one of my questions. I was like,
Okay.
why would she leave? He's so sweet. He's taken such good care of her. This is the world has ended.
Yeah. And it's not he's taken such good care of her, and it's not out of like, I'm going to get something out of this, like, oh, it's going to totally be handy to have a nurse around.
Right, no,
It's
because
just
he was
like,
totally like, I will leave this place and let you have this place.
yeah, he's just like, I want to eat fish and play Scrabble and watch Tuesday TV night, with somebody. Like, he was just lonely.
Yeah.
And I don't know what drove her out of there. What's going on in her head that she's like, this is awesome and I really love you, but I'm out.
Gotta go now.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Well, so that was kind of my ugly, actually, was just her leaving and like the heartbreak of her leaving. And I know, I mean, I totally got sucked into this episode hook, line, and sinker. No fishing pun intended.
Is what makes him leave his creature comfort?
Well, he goes searching for her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when we meet him, he's searching for her.
Yeah. She didn't seem like she wanted to be found.
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
And I mean, is it that she's just too broken to want a relationship after losing her child?
Yeah.
Is it that she feels like she's too broken to give him what he needs?
Is the world too broken to make those kind of connections anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. It was
Yeah,
super sad though.
it was. It was. Because she is the way that she revealed that she had lost her child. I mean,
Right.
that was so that moment was I mean, she was so broken in that moment that it was just she just needed to say it and get it out and then she didn't want to talk about it anymore. Like it yeah.
Well, and it was such a shocking moment too. I mean, I really felt like the reveal was very shocking, and then it was like, I lost my child, boom. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And his response was totally appropriate.
Yeah.
Just lay there and don't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually one of those episodes where I don't have much in the way of rotting potpourri.
Oh my god, neither do I.
Well, which is really funny because we always joke about how the episodes where we're kind of conflicted, we're like, we'll talk about it for hours.
Yeah.
And this, it's like, I just really enjoyed this episode a lot.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I mean, I guess the only thing that I can say in Rotting Potpourri is I liked the way that they wrapped it up with him telling Morgan the story. And
Yes.
that's kind of how we got the story.
Yes. I very much concur with that. That this didn't just end with, it being a one-off story. It was him telling Morgan and, Morgan kind of helping him on his decision to continue to search.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I really felt like Morgan's comment about, we're alive today and we're going to go forward and live. I'm not quoting him exactly, but I thought that was a great way.
He reminds John that they are part of the world and should
Yes.
not waste any more time. John holsters Naomi's pistol and walks down the road with Morgan. Yep,
It was a good end.
it was a good end. God, do you realize we are only on, episode 5? And there's 16 episodes.
But we're already almost halfway through the season. We're almost at the mid-season finale. We've got 3 episodes.
Right, right. But there's so much left.
Oh yeah, there's tons left.
I feel like we have seen a season and a half worth of stuff in just these 5 episodes. Like they are killing it.
Okay, and did you actually think we would be having this conversation about Fear the Walking Dead?
Nope.
Me either.
Not at all. Not at all. And I would never have guessed that it came in number 1 in its time slot, and no. And that I would like the new characters. And it's so funny that we dragged on the old characters for so long, and now all of these new characters come in, and we're like, we love Althea, we love John Dory, we love Jenna Elfman.
I gotta tell you though, still love me some Victor Strand, even though he's still a snake.
Though, you can always rely on him to be a snake.
Right?
It's honest people that you have to watch out for.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Well, so we do have a quick comment from Art Mora on our last episode. He said, Frank Delane's mom is African Jamaican. I thought that was interesting. I'm sure she's more like African European Jamaican, but that's how she's described, African Jamaican. We are still stuck in the racist 1-drop rule. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was a thing. I felt kind of bad.
That's how she describes herself.
Mm-hmm.
It's Afro Jamaican.
I didn't even think about it as being a racist or not racist thing. So, Art, I'm sorry if that was offensive or weird. I'm
Yeah,
not quite sure what to make of it.
I if you tell me that you're like you're I don't know, Aztec and Peruvian, that's how I'm going to describe you. Like,
Right.
if you put your identifier on you, I'm white. I'm just white. Like, I don't know. But she describes herself as Afro-Jamaican, which, I mean, proud of being Jamaican. But of course, they came from. I'm sorry, I have a black dog sniffing my stomach.
Oh, that's funny. I have dogs howling, so, but it made me feel better to listen to Phil's podcast today because someone's dog was just going off like crazy. I think it was probably Charlie Esser's dog, and I was like, I feel at home.
Well, just before we got on, I was like, what is that noise? And I had the black lab underneath this dark desk, and there's actually another little shelf under there. And she was like, I don't know if she was wagging her tail or like trying to get up, but it was like moving the table. And I didn't even realize she was under there. And it's just like all of a sudden there's a ghost under the table, like making this table float. And yeah, it was crazy.
Can you hear the howling in the background?
I zeroed in on it a few minutes ago, yes.
So they're totally singing tonight. I don't know what's going on with the sled dogs, but they are totally singing, which usually for people who don't have sled dogs means that they're happy about something. Maybe they like the food that they got. I don't know, but it's a nice thing.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, my dear, I'm going to say we call it.
All right.
We are right about at an hour. Tell people where they can find us.
Facebook.com/biters, on Twitter, at biters, and we have a Gmail account, don't we?
I think we do, but the best way to send us email is just send it to Southgate Media, and Rob always gets it to us because he's much more on it than I am.
And I did post the link to the
did you?
Yeah, the TeePublic Biters t-shirt. And it comes in an array of really cool colors. I'm thinking about a dark purple one.
So I have a green one, and I really love it.
Yeah. So you can buy Biters Walking Dead podcast t-shirts.
Just totally remember to buy it big.
Yeah. Yeah. Size up or 2.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. They're $14 right now.
Oh, what a great price. They're such cute shirts, too.
Yeah. So, I think we are still on to do the live cast of Deadpool this weekend. Our review of Deadpool.
Yes, that's right.
With Phil Parrish.
Yeah, so I think we're actually going to start. It sounds like he liked your idea of a movie review club, so it sounds like this may become a semi-regular thing.
I don't think that was my idea.
I think it was your idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sure.
I'm going to give you the credit.
Okay. I'll take credit. Somebody else came up with it. Like, I'll give them credit. But I think it was kind of a group effort between me, Maz, and Jesse Jackson.
Well, I'm willing to give all of you a share of the credit because it sounds like it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And it's going to get me out of the house and actually get me watching more movies. So that's good. I said to my husband, we have to go see Deadpool 2 on Saturday. We have to. And he was like, okay, twist my arm.
So yeah, if you go to the Capes and Lunatics YouTube channel on Sunday, you can catch a live cast of The Real Housewives of Alaska and company from the Southgate Media Group various podcasts. I don't know who all has confirmed being there. But yeah, we're just going to chit-chat about Deadpool.
I think it'll be lots of fun.
Yeah, total spoilers, so see the movie beforehand.
Yeah, don't watch it unless you want to be spoiled.
Yeah.
All right, well, this time I will actually try to do our close with you. So let's remember to take it
One
dead, day
day
at a time.
at a time.
We're terrible.
That was pretty spot on.
I don't know. It sounded delayed to me. I guess we'll find out when it all comes out in the wash.
All right, everybody. Have a good week.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.